Hey everyone, and welcome back to Pringleton Model Railway. Whether you're here for the first time or returning, thank you for stopping by. Your support is really appreciated. It's the height of spring, and of course it's chucking it down with rain outside. But what better way to spend a couple of hours than doing some spring cleaning? Cleaning all the loco wheels, cleaning all the track, and getting everything ready for the next session of smooth running. So let's see how we do maintenance Pringleton style. Sit back, pour yourself a drink and enjoy. Welcome once again to the Pringleton Model Railway. Okay, so we are straight in here and we'll begin having a look at our spring cleaning activity. And the first piece of equipment we need is of course a nice hot cup of tea for this, in my favourite mug for railway activity, the British Railways mugs. And I must get some Pringleton mugs and some other Pringleton merchandise to work with. Anyway, let's get that aside. So we're going to start with the loco spring cleaning, the loco maintenance and cleaning, and then we'll move on to the track afterwards. And our candidate for this is going to be our Class 43, our HSD maiden Voyager, which we bought at the end of the last season. Very nice. So in no particular order, I don't have a like a loco holder thing, but this piece came in some packaging a while back. I cannot even remember what it was for, but it is perfect for flipping a loco over and holding it whilst doing cleaning of the wheels. And cleaning of the wheels, in my personal experience, is the most important thing for keeping your railway enjoyable. More so even than cleaning the track. Let's put it to one side for a moment and we will bring in the resources that we're going to use in no particular order. Cotton buds, indispensable for getting grime and dirt off of wheels and mechanisms, particularly some of the older stuff with the ring-filled motors and the exposed gearing. IPA, isopropyl alcohol, a little bit of this into the cap. Cotton bud gets all sorts of grime out the way. We've also got, for getting more grimy stuff out the way, a couple of these sort of wiry copper wire brushes here, and this one with some sort of I can't remember what it is, almost like fiberglassy type stuff. Very good for getting slightly more stubborn stains. And for the really stubborn stuff, we'll also use sometimes a bit of very, very fine wet and dry paper, or an emery board piece here, which is ideal for getting some of the bigger skank off of loco wheels. An investment here, the back-to-back wheel checker, and again in my experience, particularly with some of the older locos, the back-to-back distance measurement on the wheel sets on the axles can be the difference between smooth riding over points and disasters, so sometimes worth a quick check of those whilst we're at it. We also have, I've still got dozens of these things, the longer well, these were the swabs from the old COVID rapid flow tests, if you remember these from back in the day. Of course, they're still used in many respects. We have got lots of these left for some reasons, and I've repurposed COVID tests comprehensively throughout Pringleton for lots of reasons. There's an old episode on that which you might like to take a look at. But here, the swabs are really good. Maybe again with a bit of the IPA for getting into the mechanism as well. Finally, if we need to do any lubrication, always less being more, we have the old precision oiler here with some sort of light machine oil. But also, ring-filled motors will quite like sometimes just a little bit of this, a tiny smear of this on the cogs and gears. Silicone grease. Very, very, very effective indeed. So we'll take a slurp of tea and then get cracking with the cleansing of the HSD wheels. Okay, so we'll take a little bit of IPA into the lid here. A little of this stuff goes an awful long way. Tiny dab in there and just ease it over the wheels. Now, as you can see, already some skank. And I probably find myself doing spring cleaning like this, well, obviously not just in spring once a year, but probably something like once a month. And I reckon with the locos and the track, overall I can do a really comprehensive job in about an hour. But what it means, having done that, is that the running sessions and the enjoyment are fantastic. As I say, most of the impact of the cleaning is 100% on the wheels of the locos, and some of them pick it up more than others. I would say, to be perfectly honest, the older locos probably pick up grime more than some of the newer ones, but that's okay. Bit of cleaning does the world good. If I'd have known all this stuff when I was, like, you know, a kid, 6, 7, 8, whatever, and how much benefit cleaning the wheels would have had, I would have enjoyed my model railway a lot more, because I often bought like a new loco or something like that and it ran fantastically for a few months, and then it started to judder and horrible stuff, and I kind of got a bit sad about that stuff. I just thought they just wore out, but in truth that wasn't the case. I just needed to clean them some more, didn't I? So that is looking good down this end, and I'll also just give a little bit of a wipe around the axles there to see if there's any skank in there. Look, that is all come off. 2 cotton buds, so that's a cotton bud end per wheel. Huge difference. Let's move on. In my personal experience, the IPA is the best compromise between cleansing, safety and cost as well. So a little bit of cleaning around the back as well, because that's where the pickups are. Look at that. There we go. Spring cleaning is good for the soul. Got a nice satisfying here of the cogs turning in there as well, as I just rotate the wheels very gently. Look at that. That is disgusting with a capital disgust. So in terms of lubrication, less is always more. So these precision oilers for 5 or 6 quid from eBay, fantastic. Just a tiny little dot on the axles down there is enough. There's a thing about if you can see it, you put on too much. So that is looking pretty good there. So here we have the dirt and the skank from just the HST and the dummy car. That's pretty grim, I think you can fair to say, and all of that would have contributed to a really disappointing running performance. So I'm now going to repeat that process for all of the other locos as well. Now, in terms of the coaching stock and indeed freight wagons as well, I'll be honest and say I don't usually clean those, and I probably should. So I would resolve to do that more often. But now we've done all that for the stock itself, let's have a look at the train. And our weaponry for this then, now the old favourite, the Pico track rubber, lightly abrasive, gets rid of anything in terms of skank on the top, but must vacuum up after using this, of course. We've got here the sort of steel coppery wire brush thing. This is great for going in between the point contacts, in my experience. We've also got the IPA back a little bit here and some cotton buds, and that is also great for cleaning in the frogs and the conductor rails of the points as well. And finally, these things, these are super handy. You can get these for pennies on eBay and Amazon. Useful for giving a quick wipe over the track afterwards. Now, of course, with the track, it will always go a little bit black afterwards. It's oxidation or something like that. But again, worthwhile doing a bit of cleaning on a monthly basis in my experience, and also just nipping up any fish plate connections if there are any loose. Another handy little resource I have is this, my patented Pringleton track tester, which I made from an off-cut of track with an LED wired across the rails here, and I can use that to just check continuity anywhere on the track. So if I find myself with a dodgy piece of track or a loco slowing down, this is great for testing those, and it is particularly useful for tracking around point work, because in my experience this is where the failings can occur. So this is a nice little bit of track to focus on. So starting here, out comes the rubber. Nice little bit of cleaning over there, and I am got a point here, of course, and I'm going to gently go over that as well. And it's very easy to miss these sections here. They're always sometimes slightly recessed, or the rubber doesn't hit them. But the frog section is where the most value of the cleaning can swing into action. So I'll give that a nice clean there. As I say, must remember to clean that all up afterwards, because this does shed a bit of material over the track, which we don't want. Now I'm going to get my sort of wire brush thing and just ease in between all the blades in the track there. Flip it down. Some of the older Pico points have the little spring things underneath there as well, which are well worth a clean. And I'm going to get a bit of IPA onto me cotton bud for that, and give that a good clean in there. Just make sure that there's a good contact. This is very easy for the rubber to miss, and there we go. That is just from one point there. And then certainly on the longer pieces, I'll get out one of my inexpensive little wipes and just give it all a final wipe over like that. I say the black will come back, that's just oxidation or something. I think someone can do the science better than me, and actually sometimes I will even wrap that around the rubber or a piece of wood or something like that to give a nice flat thing. But I reckon. And now I shall repeat that for the whole track. Now I'm not going to show you that because that would be incredibly boring, but let's get it all done. Now the last piece of track to attend to is of course inside the tunnel under Mount Pringleton, which I can get my arm in there to a degree, and if I have problems, any sort of derailment or major issues, I can get the endoscope in there, and we did that way back in episode 4, I think. Seems like a lifetime ago when I was a young man. But anyway, we do have other bits in our arsenal to deal with that, and we do have for that purpose the Pico. I think I'm saying that right, because it's not Pico, it's Pico, and this was from Gauge Master, I think. Cleaning wagon, and you can see under there is a abrasive pad which is sitting on the track there, and it's spring loaded. Now this is a little bit of a bugger, this wagon to work. Firstly, it's HO scale, so you can see it's slightly lower than it ought to be, but the wheels are really tricksy. They can easily pop out of their fittings on the axle, and it can suddenly become very hard to pull, mainly because the wheels aren't turning. It also requires a fairly decent loco to pull it. So this gentleman is observing what's happening here, because we've got the class 59 out to pull this, and we're going to rig up a nice little maintenance train here with that and a couple of other sort of maintenance related wagons and a sort of observation coach here. Yes, indeed, this is also a Hornby cleaning coach, but it's long since lost its effectiveness, and this one is really good. So we're going to give this a little go now to finish off the track cleaning. So there we have it, spring cleaning done, all the loco wheels cleaned, all the track cleaned, both manually, by hand, and using our track cleaning coach. A nice little musical showcase there, I hope you agree. If you've enjoyed this episode, please do consider liking, commenting and subscribing. Your support is really appreciated. Hey, you might even like some of our other episodes as well. We will be back soon, but until then, thank you so much for watching. Take care and all the best. Cheerio.